Good afternoon, children. Tomorrow you have online test of chapter Electric Current and its Chemical Effects. Yesterday, children, you had revised question answer of this chapter. Today I will revise whole chapter in brief so that you can perform better in your test. So all of you have studied good conductors and poor conductors in the previous class. Good conductors are such substances which allow the electricity to pass through them. These are solids. Like metals allow electricity to pass through them. They are called good conductors, like gold, silver, copper, etc. And poor conductors are such substances which do not allow electricity to pass through them, like rubber, bakelite, plastic, wood, etc. In this class, children, you will read about the liquids which allow the electricity to pass through them. Such liquids which allow the electricity to pass through them are called electrolytes. Or children, you can say compounds which allow the electricity to pass through them in liquid or in molten or aqueous state are called electrolytes. It means electrolytes are the liquids which allow the electricity to pass through them. Now, molecules of acids, bases and salts, they dissolve in water and they allow the electricity to pass through them. Okay, children? So they are called electrolytes. They are allowing the electricity to pass through them in molten or aqueous state. You have studied in the previous class that salt do not allow electricity to pass through them. But when salt is dissolved in water, then it allows the electricity to pass through it in aqueous state. So these liquids are called electrolytes. Now electrolytes are of two types: strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Okay, children? Strong electrolytes are such electrolytes which ionize in the solution completely and they provide enough free ions. And weak electrolytes are such electrolytes which ionize partially in the solution and they allow electricity to pass through them, but not like good electrolytes or strong electrolytes, because they provide less mobile ions. So examples of good electrolytes, or you can say example of strong electrolytes, are seawater, sulfuric acid or common salt. These are strong electrolytes. Nitric acid, all these are strong electrolytes because they ionize completely in the solution and they provide more mobile ions. Okay? And weak electrolytes, they ionize partially in aqueous solution and they provide less number of mobile ions, like acetic acid or tap water. These are weak electrolytes. Okay. Now the next topic is conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy. All of you know, children, energy can neither be created nor be destroyed. Only it can be changed from one form to other form. Here you are reading change of chemical energy into electrical energy. An electric cell is a device that converts chemical energy into electrical energy. Alessandro Volta was the scientist who discovered voltaic cell, in which there is conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy. For making voltaic cell, this electrolytic cell was taken. A clean and dry beaker is taken, and this clean and dry beaker, you can see the diagram, it is given in your book. All of you look at your book. This electrolytic cell consists of a beaker. This beaker is clean and dry, in which dilute sulfuric acid is filled. Now two rods are dipped in it. One is zinc rod and the other is copper rod. These two rods are connected through a connecting wire and a bulb is attached to it. Okay children, torch bulb is attached to it. Then now in this diagram you can see here dilute sulfuric acid is an electrolyte. These two rods, copper and zinc rod, these are electrodes. Now when this setup is done, then the bulb starts to glow up. Why this bulb is glowing up? Here chemical change is taking place and chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. Due to presence of electrical energy, the bulb glows up. So this voltaic cell was discovered by Alessandro Volta. This is an example in which you have seen there is conversion of chemical energy into electrical energy. Now, chemical effects of electric current. Michael Faraday was the scientist who discovered when electricity passes through an ionic solution or when electricity passes through an electrolyte, some chemical changes take place. It is called chemical effect of electric current. Okay children? So, when electricity passes through an ionic solution, then this electrolyte breaks down, dissociates. This process is called electrolysis. Electrolysis phenomenon was discovered by Michael Faraday. Electro refers to electricity and lysis refers to breakdown. When electricity passes through an ionic solution, it breaks down. It dissociates into ions. This is called electrolysis. Now one activity is shown. In this you see there is chemical change. This is also known as chemical effect of electric current. In the previous class you have read children heating effect of electric current and magnetic effect of electric current. In this class you are reading chemical effect of electric current when electricity passes through an ionic solution or when electricity passes through an electrolyte. Some chemical changes take place. It is called chemical effect of electric current. And when electricity passes through electrolyte, it dissociates into ions. It is called electrolysis. Now, activity is given to show electrolysis of water. Okay children? Again, you can set up the apparatus as shown in the diagram. You can see the diagram. It is a clean and dry beaker. Okay? Take a beaker and fill it with tap water. Okay? Now, you take two pencil and sharpen both the end of the pencil. This is one end, sharpen it, and this is other end, sharpen it. Okay children? When you will sharpen the pencil at both the ends, you will see there is a graphite rod. The core of the pencil is graphite. So you will take two graphite rods, and like this picture, you take two graphite rods. Okay? Now take a thermocol and make the circular piece of thermocol like the shape of the mouth of the beaker, and insert these two graphite rods through this thermocol piece. Okay, we take this thermocol or cardboard piece to keep the pencil in vertical position. Now you connect the end of this graphite rod through a connecting wire. Now connect this connecting wire through a battery. Okay children. So set up, take the apparatus and arrange it as shown in the figure. Again, what apparatus do you require? What is your requirement? You require one beaker, tap water, graphite rod, connecting wire and battery. Take a beaker, clean it, make it dry and fill it with tap water. Now take two graphite rods and pass it through the thermocol piece that is kept at the mouth of the beaker. Now connect these two graphite rods through a connecting wire and connect this connecting wire through battery. Okay children. Now you add few drops of sulfuric acid in tap water, or you can add small quantity of common salt in this water. Leave it for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes children, you will see bubbles are deposited at the electrode. So here electrolysis is taking place. When you set up the apparatus as shown in the diagram, then electricity will pass through this ionic solution and water will dissociate, water will break down into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay children. Now hydrogen will be deposited on the cathode and oxygen will be deposited on the anode. You will see the bubbles. These bubbles are the oxygen and hydrogen. Okay children. So what do you observe? When electricity passes through an ionic solution or when electricity passes through an electrolyte, it dissociates. Here water, tap water is an electrolyte, and when electricity is passing through it, it breaks down into hydrogen and oxygen. This is phenomenon of electrolysis of water. Okay children. Now why we are adding water or sulfuric acid to the tap water? Again you can say to make water more conducting. When you will add sulfuric acid or when you will add a pinch of salt in water, then it will conduct electricity more. So to make water more conducting, we are adding sulfuric acid or a pinch of salt in tap water. Okay children. So this phenomenon is called electrolysis of water. Now it was discovered by Michael Faraday. This process is called electrolysis. Now this electrolysis method depends upon two factors. This chemical change depends upon two factors. First factor, nature of the electrode. Second factor, nature and concentration of the electrolyte. These are the two factors on which this process or chemical change depends upon. Okay children. Now what are the effects of this chemical change? You can say there are three effects of this chemical change. First effect, what is effect? You can say that the bubbles may be deposited on the electrode. Second effect, metals may be deposited on the electrode. Third effect, the color of this solution may change. Okay children. So this is about the effect of the chemical change taking place during electrolysis. Okay children. What happens? What is the effect of electrolysis or what is the effect of chemical change? Three effects. First effect, bubbles may be deposited at the electrode. Second effect, metals may be deposited at the electrode. Third effect, what is third effect? Color of solution may change. So you have seen what is electrolysis and how you can carry out activity of electrolysis of water, or what are the factors on which this chemical change taking place in the electrolysis depend upon. Now you will see children what are the applications of electrolysis. Okay, first application of electrolysis is extraction of metals from their ores. Some metals like sodium, potassium, calcium, aluminium, etc., they may be extracted from their ores by electrolysis. Second application is Electro refining of metals. Children, the metal that we get during extraction is not pure, so it is refined. Now, the process of refining of metal by electrolysis is called electro refining of metal. For example, we can get pure copper from impure one by electrolysis. It is called electro refining.